As promised, guys, we're going to talk about the AV4005 and especially the big changes that are waiting for this tank in the 9.1 update that is probably going to make it the best tank destroyer you can ever play. So let's not lose too much time and jump directly into it. Bonjour everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video in which we're going to talk about what I already mentioned. The AV4005 is receiving fourth shell to its clip. But of course it comes with some good sides and downsides. For the good sides, AP shell penetration is going to be increased, interclip reload time is getting reduced, and single shot damage and reverse speed are decreased. Which means that you are going to get yourself a tank that is more versatile in terms of killing people, but instead of having the 460 alpha damage, you're probably going to end up with 400. So it's the exact same treatment that is waiting for the AMX50B. But here, knowing that this tank has 3 seconds of reload between shells, and that is probably going to lower down to 2.5 seconds, it means that it's going to take you 7.5 seconds to inflict around 1.6k damage. If they are reducing everything, it's probably in order to get you the exact same magazine reload time. And if it's the case, having 18 seconds of reload to inflict 1.6k damage is just wide. If we compare this tank to the WT AUF E100 in World of Tanks PC when it was still the best, it's the closest we have to this tank right now. So, the question we need to ask ourselves is, will this update, and specifically adding 4 shells in magazine, will make it broken? In my opinion, it's gonna change a lot of things on how you play the tank, but it's not gonna necessarily make it broken. Here is my opinion. Of course, if they gave it 4 shells but kept 460 alpha damage as its main alpha damage for one shot, it would make it broken, because it means that if you have a high roll 4 times in a row, you could nearly one-shot every single tank in this game, beside maybe the big ones like the IS-4, the Mouse, the E100, etc. But as they are giving it 4 shells but decreasing the alpha damage from 460 to probably something like 400, it's gonna equilibrate, because yes, you have more shells, but as you have a lower alpha damage, in the end it's the exact same tank you have. So it means that Wargaming wants to point out the playstyle of the tank, and this is the exact thing they want to change. But of course, even if that's the main thing about it, I still think that it will make it better. Why? Because 4 shells means that you have one more possibility out of your clip to either immobilize your targets for your opponents, or even to finish off a target, because in the end, if you do the math, 460 multiplied by 3 is equal to around 1.4k, but if you have 4 shells and 400 alpha damage, it means that you have 400 multiplied by 4, which is 1.6k, so you have a better DPM, and we already know that the DPM of this tank is among the highest in the game. So yeah, it will definitely affect it and make it a better tank, and probably make it the meta tank destroyer once it's out with its new clip. Now, on another side, will it be comparable to the WT AUF E100? Yes and no. Yes, on multiple aspects, like the fact that you have many clips, many shells in the clips, but at the same time, and also the glass cannon factor, because that tank is definitely something with which if you do one mistake, you will be punished. But at the same time, it has some perks that the WT AUF E100 didn't have. If you had the pleasure of playing the tank in World of Tanks PC, you already know that it didn't have the best mobility ever. Yes, it was better than the E100 because it featured maybe 50 ton less, but it still was kind of struggling, which is not the case of the AV. As you can see through this replay, you can relocate easily, you can do pretty much whatever you want, and you can just have fun and replace yourself, play aggressively or not, like I did in this replay. And all of those perks, when you are a good player, are getting taken into consideration, because that's what makes a tank really good, the ability to adapt. And the AV4005, with its great mobility, its great gun, plus the fact that you add a 4th shell in the magazine, will definitely handle that role of versatility perfectly. On top of that, getting the spall liner will prevent you from dying too soon because it's minus 20% damage from high explosive shells. And the fact that you can combine the provisions with the playstyle with the update incoming will definitely make a good change on this tank. But at the same time, and this is what I want to show you with the beginning of this replay, this tank is still team dependent. You will not be able to be totally broken because a broken tank means that out of nothing you can make the thing. Here, it's not the case, and you're gonna see exactly why. You have a glass cannon, you can spot for yourself, which means that you will be effective only if your team does its job. And this is exactly what they're not gonna do, and especially light tanks in this one. When you're a light tank at the beginning of the game, you need to take an advanced position to spot, which is exactly what the T100 light in the enemy team did. I'm gonna advance a little bit. You see that he went straight to the middle of the map, which is not the case of, for example, our Sheridan. I don't know where it is, probably around here. Where is he? Oh, okay, he's already here. And the thing is, with this tank, you are going to be among the first focused when you can't move. Here, I'm spotted. I can't move because I know the tank destroyers are behind, and within the first minute of the game I'm nearly gonna lose all my hit points because there is nothing I can do. And this is pretty much how I think Wargaming is trying to regulate the tank, even if they are buffing it pretty hard, because when you're a team dependent tank, no matter what kind of update you get, upgrade I should say, not update, depending of course if they make it totally broken, like adding the exact same amount of armor you have on the mouse. But beside that, if you only increase some factors of the tank that were strong and leave the weaknesses to be weaknesses, you are still team dependent, and it's kinda force your tank not to be broken, which is a nice thing in my opinion, because at least it's gonna make it a little bit more relevant. But at the same time, it's not going to allow you to just be the king of the battlefield. So this is my honest opinion of the tank. Obviously, when the 9.1 update hits, I will do another review of the tank featuring the before and after, and see if truly those changes and those remarks I'm making right now are still relevant. And well, waiting for it, I would be curious to have your opinion on that tank, guys. Do you think that yes or no, it's going to be a broken tank once it's released? I would be curious, so feel free to tell me, and I'm gonna see you soon for a new video. Bye.